if you saw last week, or if you didn't see last week's video, that's fine. But if you did see, I made the white dress from Black Swan. In that video, I said that this was going to be like a two-part series thing, where I make both the white dress and the black dress. And this video is me making the black dress. But you should go check out when I make the white dress. Be that now, I'll put like a little eye star thing in the corner. I don't know which corner it'll be in, I think that corner. You should go check it out. I'll put a little eye thing up there. If not, it'll be linked at the end of this video. But you clicked on this video because you wanted to see the black dress. So let us get to me making the black dress. But before we do that, this video is not sponsored, but it sounds like that was going to be a sponsor. You should subscribe because, you know, it's completely free. And you will then know when I post a new video. So you should subscribe. I post some fun stuff. I'm excited for the next video I'm posting. I don't know when it will be, but I know what I'm doing. And it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I hope. I think. Maybe. It might be really bad. But if you want to know if it's good or bad, you should stick around and subscribe. Anyway, let us make this video, shall we? Yes, okay. Cool. And I now need to figure out how to make a bodice. When I made this one, I just kind of hoped for the best. I reckon I only need one. How did I make this one? I got two bits and slapped them together and hoped for the best, right? Yeah. Let's do that again, shall we? I laid the pillowcase on the ground and I cut the edges off, basically, because I was going to just seam rip it so that I'd have that half a centimetre extra material. However, they're sturdy pillowcases and it was easier to just cut the seams off completely. I cut it into two pieces. I cut a front piece and a back piece. I then marked where my body would be. I pinned it in place and then I sewed along the pinned places to make a bodice piece. I then proceeded to put it on to see whether or not it would fit, see where I needed to cut it, if I needed to cut it, and everything. Let's see, let's do it about there. Okay, I'm going to take this off, cut along the bottom where I just cut it, and we'll see, then put it back on and we'll see what it looks like. I can't take this off, so I'm going to have to pick the seam because I accidentally made it too tight. And now I can't get it comfortably off. So we're just going to... I made it looser and I can now actually breathe, which is good. It will, so it doesn't go past my hips. So I will end up cutting where I initially made the little marks. I will cut along there. I'm going to add some darts here and here. I'm going to do that now whilst it's inside out and on me. I hate doing darts because they're always wonky. I never know how to make them not wonky. I then proceeded to put it back on inside out, marked off where the darts would be in the front of the bodice piece, took it back off, then sewed the darts in. I then did something, I can't remember what I did next. What did I do next? I added a sweetheart neckline, that's what I did next. However, I regret doing it this early because I ended up getting rid of the sweetheart neckline before I hemmed it, and then re-adding a sweetheart neckline later on. It's the next day, and I am going to, oh, you can see the legs. Wait, can I angle it so that it looks like her legs? She grew legs. I'm going to go around with a lighter on this and just do the edges. Once I had unpicked the sweetheart neckline that I had just done the previous day, I then proceeded to sew the hem around the top and the bottom because this material was fraying so badly that it needed a hem, and I didn't have the patience to actually burn the hem rather than just hand sewing it. This is me re-sewing the sweetheart neckline. I went to go and put it on Anna and I accidentally broke one of the seams, So I've just re-sewed it back up. I broke the dart. So I've sewn it back up, and I'm going to put it on the floor or on my tray, and I'm going to do the feather detailing on that rather than on the mannequin, just because it doesn't fit the mannequin, which kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I'm gonna use this actually. I'm gonna use my sweet tin of How the Grinch Stole Christmas that's got all my sweets in. I'm gonna have them actually. I realised that I probably need a bit of material here for extra support for the feathers, because otherwise they're just gonna not be on anything. So I was like, I need a bit of material. But I don't necessarily think a bit of this material would have any structural value. I think if I did it, it would just flop, and we don't want that. We want it to stay up and firm, and I don't want to add something to keep it up. However, this I think will come in handy. And I'm making use of every part that I got when I bought these pillowcases. So I'm going to staple it here, because then it will stay up, and then I can glue feathers to it. But you can see it all, and then I can stick the feathers, and in theory it won't flop over because it's cardboard and not material. Now I'm either big brained or this is gonna come back to haunt me, and I'm not sure which one it is right now. So annoyingly, I did all of this and then my phone ran out of storage. So you didn't see all of this, which kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie. I just added a bunch of feathers, as you can kind of see if the screen was actually doing its job. There you go, you can see the feathers. I'm going to add more feathers and hope that my phone doesn't run out of storage. I got some PVA glue mixture, so PVA and some water. I then got some feathers and a little bit of black paint, and I put feathers into it, and I then proceeded to like smush it on to where I wanted it before I then got some dried feathers and I sprinkled it on and then mushed them in and then let it dry. My floor is sufficiently covered in glue and black paint. I'm going to chuck this outside in hopes that it will dry quicker, because I know the skirt that I used the similar chuck all the feathers in and then schluck it on for the last dress took like 2 days to dry. So I'm going to chuck this outside and I'll get back to you possibly later this week with an update. Somewhere is a black tutu, and I've put it away somewhere really safe so that when I got round to it I knew exactly where it was. Now where on earth did I put it? I did the same process on the skirt that I did with the bodice piece, and I got the PVA glue mixture and I put feathers in, whacked it on where I wanted it onto the skirt piece, and then got some dry feathers and sprinkled it on top. This is also what I did with the white dress that I did last week, which you can see. I'll put it up in the corner somewhere, you can go watch that. So I have done all that I can with what I can. I don't want to turn it round because I found that the bits with all the glue on get super heavy. You can't see me, but you can see this, so pretend that you can see me. So it gets really heavy, the bits with the glue and the feathers. I want it all to remain flat, so I'm going to leave it like this. I might elevate this bit a little bit so that it dries more flat. Oh god, I've got glue on all my sweets! Darn it! So I'm going to, I think, try and elevate this a little bit. I might not. In theory it should stay up, is what I'm hoping. So I'm going to leave it how it is, let it dry. When it's dried, I will then go back over and I will do the both sides. I'll then do the back, and then in theory, by that point, I will be able to spray paint it. I'm hoping to get the spray paint on Tuesday, I think it is. I believe that's when my spray paint is coming. I'll then be able to spray paint the top and the skirt. Hopefully the skirt, I'd have done it by then. I'm going to try and put the top on, but I'm going to do that off screen just to see whether or not it does actually fit with the cardboard bit. Then you can either listen to me talk or you can just watch her play. So I looked up the crown thing that she wears when she's the Black Swan. I have no idea how to make this. Like, don't eat that. That's a bit of rubbish. Don't do it! Zula, you have toys! So I don't know how to make this. Do you want to go out? I'll come back and talk to you in a second. I need to figure out how to make a crown. And I have no idea how to do that. So I'm going to show you how I made the crown, and I'll show you the end result of what the crown looked like. However, I didn't end up using the crown in the final thing because it didn't look anything like hers, and I personally think it made the whole outfit look a lot less good and a lot less impactful in the long run. So I ended up using a crown that I actually got given a couple of birthdays ago. I used that. I just had it laying around. I didn't actually make it though. But I thought that I would show you guys how I did make the crown because it looked alright. It just didn't match the vibe of what the rest of the outfit was. So that's why you're still seeing this, but that's why I didn't end up using it in the final outfit. I'm really off screen. Wow, I'm a professional, I promise. Headpiece, done. Skirt is outside, and shirt is somewhere in here. On top of my bee. So, I am received in the mail spray paint. Is this spray paint for materials that I'm using it on? No. Wasn't this the cheapest spray paint that I could find on next day delivery? Yes. So, we're going to use it. I'm going to go wash the bottom part of the skirt to get rid of any of the excess glue. And then I will bring it up and I will not bring it up. I will then take it outside and I will then spray paint it. Let's go do this, shall we? So when I first started using the spray paint, I thought I had gotten really weak. It's been a while since I'd used spray paint and I thought, oh no, I've gotten really, really weak. I don't know why. And then I realised that there was a safety cap. So I took the safety cap off and it worked really well. So there you go. These have turned out a lot better than I thought they would. I'm not going to lie. I thought they were going to come out quite bad. But that's the top. And this is the skirt. I've got a hoodie on underneath because I used my tin. I don't want to get paint on my tin because I didn't know if it would come off, so I used a black hoodie that I'm going to chuck through the wash because if it doesn't come off then it's black on black, so then you won't notice it. I have the little circle bit somewhere. Little silver circles, which I'm going to cover this in and hope it doesn't look too tacky. And then I also painted this bit of cardboard silver too, which I'm going to then cover the bodice piece in a couple of circles. So I got the silver discs and I put them on in a couple of various places on the bodice piece, but it didn't look quite as fancy as her dress did. So I then proceeded to get the rhinestones that I have just laying about for makeup reasons, and I glued them into the centre of the discs, plus also added a couple just dotted around the featherwork of the rest of the outfit. I'm going to light an incense because that is pungent spray paint. I think that's it. I think next time you see me, I'm going to be all dressed up, which is quite exciting. Cue the montage.